Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. I thought we'd talk today a little bit about the standard Tai Chi movement called single whip. In our style, which is a double yang style or symmetrical yang style of Tchoung Ta-Tchen, we do single whip a little bit differently from the usual way, and I probably do it even a little bit differently, just my own personal take on it. But I just thought we'd break it down and show you what it looks like in our style. If you're a yang style purist and you don't permit rising and falling, opening and closing, or changing speed within the movement, then you'll see all kinds of stuff that's illegal in your style. I'm sorry about that, but I think in time, you can get over it. So single whip. I'm going to do it first bone level, which I call, that's my word, I call it bone level, meaning like I'm just focusing on my skeleton, making sure that the movement, everything's posturally okay. So I've just finished my push from my previous movement. So you notice it's kind of stiff, it's got a certain held quality. That's just normal for bone level work, because I'm putting my bones in the right place, I'm working on my posture. So let's break it down into 6 pieces. Part 1, I'm shifting my weight back and I'm turning to the opposite corner pretty much. And I'm letting this toe turn in once my weight's off it. So I'm getting my weight off that foot, turning it in as far as I can comfortably turn it. Part 2 is I'm going to hook in this hand. Make a hook by my thumb touching my fingertips. I'm going to bring it back. It's kind of like holding the ball, except I don't like to go out this way or this way. I like to go out that way, because this way has power. I'm behind my movement. This way doesn't. I've got a little bit, but not much. I'd take 5 of these for 1 of these. Right? This is not so good. So from here we want to wind everything up. That's part 2. Part 3 is I'm going to rise off this leg. This is the power. This is a shot off your front leg. And as I rise on that leg, I'm going to turn my waist and allow that power to go out my hooking hand. So I'm going to go out like that, and I'm going to circle this foot up. This foot can sometimes be considered like hooking the back of someone's knee, but I prefer to think of it as getting away from something over here, like a sweep or some kind of a kick to my leg. Instead of just jerking my leg up like that, I'm going to pick it up like in a circle. So almost like if it was ahead of a match, I would be striking it on the ground, like a little strike on the ground. And I'm pulling it up in a circle so that I can just go right back into another kick. Circle, and then it can go anywhere. So that circles up as I extend the hook. Now from here, I'm going to coil, and I'm going to bring everything back down into this leg and towards my center. Usually single whip, but when you do this step, this hand just stays there. Master Tchoung and my teacher Andy would do a secondary little circle here like this. So you would extend the hook, and then you would do this secondary circle here. And I just made it bigger. So it's not a new thing except for size. I just made this circle big, like someone's grabbing here and I'm hooking on it. Now part 5, I'm going to shift my weight forward. The hook hand is just going to drag back behind me and back to that corner. I'm not putting it out there like that again. I'm drawing it so I'm behind it. So, and the other hand is going to spiral up this way, all the way around to here. This is just basically the weight shift forward like that. Single whip is sometimes done over the top like this, and that's fine too. This version is just a little more broad, it's just a little more spread out. So it's like a sweeping strike or a sweeping clearing of something over there. Once I've done my weight forward, I'm going to turn and square myself. And when I turn, notice this brings this shoulder back. So I'm just going to allow that to cause my palm to turn over as I come back. And then I'm in my final single whip position here like that. So that's kind of bone level. Bone level, each piece is a separate chunk. 1, 2, wind up. 3, unwind and strike. 4, close the ball, sit. 5, open and go forward. 6, turn and settle into your final position. Muscle level is about smoothness making it more graceful, making it more relaxed, just taking the tension out of it and making it smoother. So for one, we don't stop, we just slow down a little bit at the resting places. And we just try to relax and melt as much tension away as we can. So now muscle level, focusing on softness. So if you get stuck in muscle level, you know, it can get kind of droopy, and if you just do nothing but relax and nothing but relax, yes, your muscles get soft, but they end up with this kind of heavy feeling. If you leave your joint limp, it'll fall asleep. If you keep it tight and tense, it'll fall asleep. You're pinching off the nerve and blood flow to your joints. So the next step is the energy level, where you want to keep the joints open and relaxed and always in a slight amount of motion. That's where the movement kind of comes alive. So in the bone level, you're like a collection of sticks. In the muscle level, you're like a collection of ropes. At the energy level, you're more like a collection of snakes. So there's this liveliness in the joints. For instance, when I do that initial turn, the centrifugal force causes my hands to come up. So like if there was a punch coming or a strike of some kind, I was catching the elbow and the wrist or adapting to the shape of an arm. Because of that suspended quality in the joints, as though each one is held up by a string like I was a puppet, when I move, it causes centrifugal force to go through my joints. So that energy is expressed in my fingers lifting on that movement, for instance. So now, when I do it now, it's like it comes to life a little bit more. I'm actually thinking about these applications and what I'm doing with my movement. So, there. Just to reverse it. So I'm thinking of an actual coil here, and then strike here, and then step and coil, and then come around. So everything takes on a different feeling now, because I have the posture. My bone level work is basically in place. I'm relaxed enough. But now I've got this possibility of going, you know, here, there, anywhere within that movement. I've got all kinds of range of motion and possibilities of movement that aren't there. They aren't there when you're doing bone level. I'm stuck in this form. It's a good stage to go through to learn it. But even when I go to muscle level, I'm still kind of stuck. There's this heaviness and this inertia and this ultra soft feeling, but it's got a kind of a dead feeling to it. It's in between the two, in between muscles and bones are joints. And so that is when my nervous system kicks in, and my whole felt sense of my whole body and its energy is inside this movement. And then I feel like that's when the movement kind of comes alive. That's when it becomes functional. So from here, I could just hook over here, strike over here, or I could go places, I could do stuff that I can't when I'm kind of adhering to the form too much. So it's swinging around, coil here, issue there, coil here, issue here, issue here, and then soften and settle. So it can take on kind of a more a holistic feeling in your body. That's a nice way to break down the work, and I do it all the time in my videos and in my practice. You know, start with the bone level. What are you doing? Then go to muscle level. Relax it, smooth it out, make it as even and graceful as you can. Then go to energy level. Look at the joints. Look at the martial applications. Connect it with your breath. You know, you could think this is an inhaling breath because you're coiling here. This is an exhaling breath because you're striking. Inhaling breath because you're coiling. Exhaling breath because you're striking. Look at the intent of the movement. Here I'm catching an arm or sweeping, I'm hooking a strike aside. There I'm striking or punching that way, getting away from something, coiling to get ready for another issue, or clearing something aside with that hand. You start to think in terms of what are the physical functions of these movements, and how is my body behaving as a whole unit. The spirit level of this is just to be one with what you're doing. And I'm not able to do that on demand. Every now and then it happens, and I sure can't demo it on a video. So every once in a while, if you've practiced your posture and you're feeling good and relaxed and your joints are loose and soft and you can open up to the breath and you can feel the intent of what you're doing, every now and then you'll just become one with what you're doing, and there won't be a self-conscious you watching yourself do it, and you won't be working on anything consciously. It'll just be an expression of who you are and of Tai Chi, which is the underlying unforced balance of yin and yang energies that underlies the whole universe as far as we can tell. So, you know, Tai Chi is a bunch of training games that teach you how to align with that and how to embody it. So this movement, like any other, is an opportunity to learn about that. That's the way I do it. My point of doing this is unforced balance. So this is one avenue, one training game to show you where you might be off balance and tight, where you might be working too hard, where you might be stressed out or not, or holding the balance with tightness and tension. So it's all just a mirror back to you to show you how to express that unforced balance in a new way. So hopefully that was interesting for you. If you do Tai Chi, that might be a little different from the way that we usually do these kind of things. And you know, it's just another example of single whip. There's many other good ones out there. That's just happens to be mine. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do lots of Tai Chi videos, music videos, nature videos, the occasional stab of humor. And you can also visit my website, GeneBurnett.com, for more information. Thanks for watching and have a great day.